Hi guys. Hi guys. My name is Alexandra Rose, and today I'm filming a video about 5 things that I really love about living in Norway. So I meant to film this video for a few months now, but I've kind of been putting it off because I just didn't really feel like being in front of the camera for a while. Here we are. I'm ready to film this. So yeah, let's go. So to start this video off, I just want to tell you about myself. I came to Bergen 9 months ago. I moved here from the south of England, from a place called Bournemouth, which is a nice little city in the south. I came here to start my own graphic design business with my friend. I live about an hour and a half away from the city centre, a little bit far off from Bergen, but I do go there quite often. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me so that you know my situation. And I just wanted to say that obviously this is my experience. This is how Norway has felt for me and the things that I've experienced. It might be completely different for somebody else. Please don't get offended. Yeah, on to the 5 points. So the first thing that I really love about living in Norway is the outdoor lifestyle, or as the Norwegians say it, hold on, let me, friluftsliv. Friluftsliv. So this just means open air or fresh air activities. Basically, Norwegians really love their outdoor lifestyles. They really love being out in nature, hiking, cycling, whatever it be, and just being in their cabins. So it's a big part of their culture. There is loads of green space here, even around the major cities. So Oslo actually is, I think, 70% green space, which I'm not sure if that's the most in Europe. But yeah, there's just basically nature on your doorstep wherever you live, even in the capital. Bergen itself is actually surrounded by 7 mountains. So you could technically go hike a different mountain every single day if you wanted. I don't know if I would recommend that because some of the hikes are a bit hard, but you could do that. Basically, there's always just a lot of options for you to choose from, and it's really easy to be out in nature here. So it's something that I really love about Norway because I love being outdoors. I love being in nature. It makes me feel so much better. It makes my mental health much better. So yeah, I just really love it. It's just a huge privilege to have all of this on your doorstep, and even in your own flat from the window, you will very often have a really beautiful view because of how beautiful the landscape here is. Actually, it was one of the first things that I fell in love with when I came to visit Norway for holidays. I remember we were driving to go ski in Voss with my friend, and it was about a 2-hour drive. And I remember being in the car, and the whole 2 hours almost, I was staring out the window just thinking how beautiful this country is and how much I want to live here. So this one is really big one for me, just the outdoor lifestyle. Point number 2 is smaller communities or just smaller population in general. Norway has much less people in it than England. I think there is 5 million-ish people in the country compared to England's. I will put the number here because I'm not actually 100% sure what it is. And this basically kind of plays a part in point 1 too, is that this means that there's way more green space because there isn't so many people to build houses for and to urbanize the areas. There is less pollution, and it's just here it's just so much more open space. It's less packed, less full. This means that there's just tighter communities, more green space, the homes are bigger, so it just feels like you have more space to breathe. And again, this isn't necessarily, you know, a negative thing about England. It's just different. I wouldn't say I, you know, dislike England because of that. It's just a different lifestyle. I find that the fact that there's less people here makes it much more easygoing. People are almost much more carefree and don't really feel like they're constantly in a rush. So it doesn't feel like London, for example, where it just feels like people are kind of going places and going fast, and you're like rubbing up against people and being in their way. So yeah, that is much different. Like I said earlier, communities feel much tighter. There is a custom here in Norway, it's called dugnad, And this is basically communities and neighborhoods here in Norway. Um, if there is something that needs to be done in the community, like mowing the grass or maintenance of playgrounds, maintenance of maybe things like fences, everybody in the community chips in a little bit, and helps out with all these things. So there is, to me, a much stronger sense of community that I didn't really feel back home the same way that I feel here. People here might seem a bit colder. Like if you want to sit down next to them on the bus, for example, they're not going to talk to you. They're going to be a bit freaked out. But once you break through the ice, they are really, really kind and very generous people, which I really appreciate. Point number 3 is cleaner spaces and less pollution, I guess. So because there is less people and more green space, there generally is just much less pollution than in the UK. In the UK, if you live in the city, there'll always just be cars driving around and almost like a smog around the city, especially around London. The air quality is much nicer. You know, there isn't so much sound, and the light pollution is also smaller, so you can, you know, see the sky better at night, and it's just it feels like a much healthier lifestyle. And I feel like in general it's much easier to live a healthy lifestyle here. And I guess like a bonus point from that for me is that the water here is so much better than in Norway. In England, the water tastes so crisp. In England, it has this like almost fluoride taste to it. It tastes almost bitter, and the water here doesn't have that. And it's just so nice to drink. And I think this is like the best water that I've had in all of Europe. And this is like something that you don't really think about and you don't really realize until you go somewhere where there's clean water and you drink it, and then it almost just, you know, normal water at home never tastes the same to you. So when I went back to England as well after my first holiday here, I just thought that the water was so bad. So yeah, that's a big bonus point, and it's almost like I feel the most important point and the most convincing thing for why you should stay in Norway, because of the water. Seriously. Okay, so point number 4 is that there's less conveniences here. And this is a bit of a funny one because it almost feels like a con, actually, because, okay, so you don't have Amazon here. You have to pay taxes if you want to import things from outside Norway. And they're really high taxes. Eating out here is more expensive. Ordering takeout is way more expensive and more difficult, because in a lot of places they don't have takeout, apart from, you know, in the major cities. But in the smaller areas around, they might not have delivery services. On top of this, taxis are expensive. Public transport might not be available or might take a really long time where you are. And postal services also take forever to, you know, post your things sometimes. There's less shops, selection in the shops is smaller. So yeah, there's just a lot of things that aren't as convenient as back home in England. The thing is that I feel like this makes you more mindful, and you stop having this consumerist mindset. You have to think more about the things that you want to buy. You aren't constantly kind of convinced to buy new things, because yeah, the consumerist culture is just much smaller here. And yeah, I do think this contributes to a healthy lifestyle and to a better work-life balance as well. For example, the shops are closed on Sunday, so you can't go shopping on the weekend as much, which yeah, just contributes to a better lifestyle in my opinion. Yeah, it just doesn't really feel like shopping is so much of a pastime here as it was back in the UK. For me, that was a really big point, because I felt like I suddenly had to become more mindful of, you know, if I need something, I need to think about it ahead of time. And for food, I need to plan my meals, and I need to cook more often now. I feel, to be honest, like that really is the big one, is the takeout. If you want to live in Norway, you're probably gonna have to learn how to cook if you like to live on takeouts, because unless you want to spend all your money, you're gonna have to cook your own food, because it's super expensive to order takeout here. So yeah, but I do feel like that contributes to a healthier lifestyle as well, because then you're cooking for yourself and you're eating better. So yeah, it's a positive thing in my opinion, but you do need to give it some time, and then I feel like you warm up to it, you know. So this kind of leads me on to point number 5. Point number 5 is higher quality of products. Basically, because you can't import things from Europe. And Norway generally doesn't import as much from Europe. A lot of the products here, especially the food and a lot of the fashion, is kind of local to Scandinavia. It's locally made. and this means higher quality and more awareness around where the products come from. It almost feels like much more comfortable to buy things here because you know where it all came from. And I think I've read somewhere that Norway, I think, has like the best food standards out of all of Europe. So I will check that, but because I'm not 100% sure. And of course, this, you know, isn't 100% perfect because nothing in life really is, but it is really, really good. It is much better, I find, the fact that it's a little bit more self-sustained. Yeah, that's food wise. And then I guess fashion wise, I also have to mention that for some reason I feel like the quality of the clothes here is just much better. It's, for some reason, the tights that I buy here don't rip, and like the underwear is just much more comfortable. The raincoats are actually waterproof, and this might have something to do with the fact that Norwegians say, you know, there's no such thing as bad weather, there's only bad clothing. Perhaps this makes them only import good quality items and produce better items. Or maybe it's something to do with where I shopped back home, but I just found that the clothing items here are just much better quality than back home. So to me, that was like a really big thing, because it just is nice to spend your money well and have things that will last you longer, rather than buying, you know, something that you think is good quality and then it gets broken over time much faster, and maybe it's not so well made, the quality is just lower. Yeah, I really appreciate that about Norway. And I guess that sums up my video. So yeah, those are my 5 points about things that I love in Norway. There is many more, I think, but I wanted to kind of shorten it into 5. Maybe I'll make some more videos going more in depth about the things that I love. I do want to make a video of cons, because there is definitely a few cons about living in Norway. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more content like this in regards to living in Norway and travel, business and finance, also a bit of lifestyle here and there, maybe some vlogs, then do give me a follow. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them down below, and I will make sure to get back to you. Yeah, that's it really. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.